All right, today we're talking about empowering women in capital markets, and we're also talking about rapist pedophile Peter Nygard and his creepy association with Richard Carleton, the CEO of the Canadian Securities Exchange.
The devil with blue eyes is what I call him. He asked me if I was interested in modeling for him.
This guy is like probably the biggest mass rapist in maybe North American history. I'm talking about Canada, U.S. Apparently he's raped like about 100 girls. Some of them are underage, as young as 10 years old. And by the way, Peter Nygard, apparently, from what we see here, is a very good friend of Richard Carleton. That's the CEO of the Canadian Scam Exchange, aka Canadian Securities Exchange, the worst failing stock exchange on the planet. Let me expose to you what these hypocrites are all about, these scammers and grifters at the Canada Scam Exchange. Let's roll tape. Let's roll tape. Here we got a summit, girl power, empower women. They're doing an event. Let's watch this. You comment below. Let me know what you think of this.
Hi, I'm Marianne Palangio, and I'm thrilled to welcome you all to the Ring the Bell for Gender Equality today.
Ring the bell. We're ringing the bell. We're ringing the bell for gender equality. On the screen is Marianne Palangio, who, by the way, is allegedly involved with financial fraud. That's right, Marianne Palangio. Marianne, this beautiful young lady, is involved allegedly with backdating documents, according to their former chief counsel. Yes, he blew the whistle on them, and this is why he got fired. That's right. This guy got fired from the Canadian Scam Exchange because he did not want to be part of the cover-up. That is what happened. Jamie Anderson, we're going to link to his lawsuit. He got fired because he did not want to have nothing to do with the cover-up by Richard Carleton, their CEO, the dirty, crooked cop, and Marianne Palangio, that's their girl power CFO. She allegedly committed financial improprieties, backdating documents that have serious impact, okay? This is not a joke, folks, not a joke. I don't know. What do you think of this? Comment below. Is this something wrong? Well, let's keep watching, but first, feel free to comment. Let's watch this disgusting hypocrisy.
Today. And I'm also thrilled to introduce our special guest, Linda Kuga.
Linda Kuga. Let's meet Linda Kuga over there.
Who is
Milks and Cougars.
President of...
Oh, that's her. That's her. That's the old bat. And who's in the picture? Is that no, I don't get some, I don't know, whatever. Hang on. Here we go. Let's move this.
Both Room Women's Network.
She looks like a real battle axe, that Linda Kuga. Let me tell you that much. So who's the fat slob right there? Who's the pig? That's Richard Carleton right there. Richard Carleton. You see that? Tricky Dick. We call him Tricky Dick. He's the CEO of the exchange right there. Okay. Who's the guy behind him smiling? That big smile with glasses right behind Tricky Dick. That's Rob Cook. Okay. Both of them are being investigated. Okay. Both of them, we filed investigation requests with the Ontario Securities Commission and the RCMP, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Again, so these guys are ringing the bell for gender equality. I'm assuming that also means diversity and racial equality. Racial diversity and equality. Now, it's, okay, by the way, right there, who's that pig right there? That right there. Next to the one in the pink, the one in the black outfit with the glasses, that is Tracy Stern, corrupt in-house lawyer. She's the one that is now part of the cover-up. She's the one that's doing the cover-up of the scams. I looked at the page of the CSE. By the way, don't be fooled, guys. This is the scam. Look at this. They try to make it look. This is a photo op. This is a fake photo op, guys. This is a fraud. This picture that they're showing you right there is a fraud because I think they rented these people or whatever it is. They're showing you like this little rainbow coalition. They probably manage this. Hey, you wear or whatever. All their executives are white. They're all white. And by the way, Toronto is like 70% like Indians, Muslims, Arabs, some black people, whatever it is. People from whatever other third world countries, whatever it is that migrates to this Kakistan. And you would think that they would have at least half their employees would be, of color, people of color. By the way, I can tell you, I've promoted how many Canadian penny stocks. half my clients, no, 70% were Indian, Middle Eastern, or Asian. Yeah, that's like maybe 70%. And by the way, most of the shareholders are the same thing, immigrants. 70%, 75% of the shareholders of the penny stocks are immigrants. Why is it that the Canadian Scam Exchange, we're talking about this pig, Richard Carleton, why does he feel he could take the money? That's right, he could take the money from the community. Okay, he'll take the money.
Is
But he
leading
won't
the
give you a
North
job.
American and the president of
Hey, let me
both
zoom in. Let me zoom in
Women's
that pig. Okay, so tricky Dick. Okay, tricky, very tricky. White man speak with forked tongue. That's right, white man speaking with forked tongue. Okay, he'll take the black man's money, the Indians' money, the Arabs' money, the Chinese's money, but he's not going to hire them at the CSE. You want proof? I'll show you proof right here. Hang on a second. Let's zoom in. Let's zoom in. Hang on a second. Let me show you this about us. Executive team. There we go. About us. There you go. So this is their about us page. This is the scam again that they're pulling. Okay. I don't know, guys. When you see that picture at the top, you see this young black woman. You think that most of their employees are black, right? They're empowering. They're ringing the bell for empowering black women or women, right? Women. But in fact, this is who is their top executives. They're all white, all Caucasian Anglos, not even ethnics, all Caucasians, not even, I guess Palangio, I guess technically it's ethnic, whatever, Italian. But yes, and this guy, again, James Black, cultural appropriation. He's got the black name, but he's a white face. Okay, that's their scam. They want you to think that they have diversity. How about their directors? You see any people of color? Nope. This thing is whiter than the North Pole. They're whiter than the North Pole. Now, here's what's funny. Again, they're ringing the bell for gender equality, and I'm going to show you the hypocrisy because this guy, this pig over there, Richard Carleton, he's there with all these women, girl power. He's hanging out with rapists. Like the day before, he's hanging out with rapists and pedophiles. Now he's doing girl power. And he's got the pig behind it. That's Rob Cook. By the way, notice for this picture they bring. They looks like they got some. They got a black guy over there. They got this lady looks like maybe Indian or something. So they got 1, 2, another black lady, 3, Asian, 4. So they got 4 out of 20. Okay, so they got 4 out of 20 or something like that, right? By the way, I'm not. Oh shit, I'm sorry. Hang on. Let me go back. I didn't have it on the page. There we go. Sorry about that. We don't have a producer. Guys, we need your donations. Please send money now. We need your donations. Click the link below. Give us a $50, 50,000, whatever you could spare, 100,000, 2 million. Click the link. Ko-Fi. It's on Ko-Fi. We need your donations immediately so we can keep bringing you this investigative journalism. Okay, this is a very important work that we're doing. By the way, all kidding aside, I make some jokes. Nobody is doing this. Nobody else out there is doing this because they don't have the balls, especially these Canadians. Nobody is exposing the Canadian markets except me. You know why? Because these Canadians, they all got that small dick energy. They're all part of the swamp. Okay, and I'm telling you the truth. I'm exposing these scumbags for what they are. So back to the photo. As you can see, you got this whitewashing, blackwashing, I'm calling it. They got a picture of a black woman, to make you think that they have diversity. No, everybody's white. They have, a few, I guess they found some people from the mailroom or whatever, some, entry-level employees that they have of color, as they say. But no, everybody's here is white. Let's see what's going on. So that's hypocrisy number 1. Let's see what she's going to say, because I got something. Because let's talk about the rapist pedophile Peter Nygard. Hang on a second. I'm sorry. Wait. Let's do this. Now I'm not even going to edit this. I'm not going to edit this because, why should we edit? You're just going to see it. So again, the guy's doing an event for women empowering girls, and that's the CEO, Richard Carleton, with what looks like to be his best friend, Peter Nygard, the rapist and pedophile. Peter Nygard, rapist and pedophile, right there with the red arrow pointing to him. hanging out with Richard Carleton. And who is Peter Nygard? Well, we're going to give you a link, but hang on a second. Let's let me do this. Peter Nygard. Let's pull this up. Peter Nygard, Marina Del Rey. I don't know why this comes up. Peter Nygard, Marina Del. You know what's funny? I actually, I lived in Marina Del Rey, and Peter Nygard apparently was very active there. I lived there for a while. Then I had a boat there, and I think I've passed by that house. That's on like what is it called? Speedway or something? Not Speedway. Whatever it is. Okay, so anyway, so there's one of his victims right there. And what is she saying? So Peter Nygard, again, notorious for raping about 100 girls, 100 victims, some as young as 10 years old. Yeah, not a joke. And that's Richard Carleton's friend. Okay, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it's appropriate for the CEO of a stock exchange to be hanging out with a child rapist, Peter Nygard, who's currently in prison? Now, again, I don't know the details of the relationship, but would you agree that, the board of directors of the Canadian Stock Exchange should have done something about this and said, hey, Tricky Dick, maybe you should remove that photo from Instagram. That's not a flex. Again, Richard Carleton, he thinks it's a flex to have a picture of him and a rapist and pedophile together, like you see over there. He thinks he's flexing. Now, I don't know. What do you guys think? You comment below. Tell me. Share your thoughts. Share your thoughts on this disgusting pig, Richard Tricky Dick Carleton. Now, this young lady, what is she saying? Hi, Peter Nygard. How's life nowadays? How's your old house in Marina? Oh, here's your old house in Marina Del Rey. Nice house. Really nice house. That's right across from the beach, I think. Yeah. Your dear friend sent me to this house back in 1997. That's right. So she was basically trafficked. Your dear friend sent me to this house back in 1997. I had never met you before, and after that visit, I never wanted to see you again. What do you think that means? Unfortunately, you had me trapped in a fake management company and so on. Greetings from my new and free life. Now, we responded to her. We wrote, did you meet Richard Carleton, a short, fat guy, 65 plus with Peter Nygard? We offer a cash reward leading to the arrest of Richard Carleton. Another victim, Alicia, saying, when I was 14, my friend's mom took me to his beach pad in Marina Del Rey. He rubbed suntan lotion, suntan oil on my body, and I was terrified. He tried to get me to go into his house from the beach, and I literally ran. I'll be 60 in September. I'll never forget how scary this was. By the way, this is real. Guys, this is real. That's Peter Nygard. So this is a woman. She's talking about something from 50 years ago almost. This is like 50 years ago. Can you believe this? What is the point of this? Okay, that's no joke. We make sometimes jokes on this channel. That's not a joke, okay? Peter Nygard had a reputation as a sex predator, rapist, going back 50 years, 60 years in Canada. Okay, if you look at Wikipedia, I'm going to show it to you. Richard Carleton knew this guy's reputation. Okay, Richard Carleton is a very well-connected guy in social circles. He's a little social butterfly. Tricky Dick Carleton is a little social butterfly, prancing around, drinking everywhere. He's a very well-connected guy. Okay, his wife is a partner in a big law firm, Bennett Jones. By the way, we reached out to Tricky Dick's wife at Bennett Jones to ask about the relationship, if any. What is the nature of the relationship with the pedophile rapist, Peter Nygard? We have not heard back. We're still waiting to hear comment from Tricky Dick's wife. And we're going to contact other members of the law profession to find out what is the relationship. Because this is a serious thing. I mean, you're seeing that stuff. Okay, this guy knew. This guy, Tricky Dick knew about Peter Nygard, and he's hanging out with him. And he has that picture up on their Instagram to this day. The board of directors of the CSE has done nothing about it. That's what they think of girl power. That's the hypocrisy. That is the hypocrisy of the CSE. They do this ring the bell for gender equality, and the next day the guy's hanging out with a rapist pedophile. All right? That is what's going on in Canada. That's the two-faced Tricky Dick. By the way, very typical in Canada. All these Canadians, they're all two-faced. They all smile and polite, and then they stab you in the back. They file, they're all scumbags. Scumbags, okay? Let me show you back to this. Okay, let's see. This is, by the way, first-hand account of what is going on. Okay. I'm sorry. He's a very dangerous man, a predator. Thank you for telling this. Old bestie from Sweden. So this lady lives in Sweden now. These are real victims there. Talking about this. He should have known. These victims commenting on Peter Nygard, and this is not even a big thing. Okay, look at this. So she's in Sweden. I don't know, whatever they're saying. Yeah, a lot of stuff. Anyway, let me show you about Peter Nygard, because we will be investigating Peter Nygard. Oh, speaking of which, here is another guy that's next on our hit list. This guy who looks like, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think of that face? What do you think of that face? Would you give money to this man? Would you trust this man with your money?